Hey guys, good morning everybody. Today is Thursday, July 11th. It is 6:21 right now. Market's going to open in about 9 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and set up this room real quick and we'll get started shortly with our analysis for today. All right, looks good. A few more things here to update. All right, one last thing. And it looks like we are good to go. So let me get this link sent out to you guys here in the premium. Speed out. Looks good. So as people join in, I'm going to go ahead and start marking up liquidity over here. Attach this. All right. All right, dropping down to the 8 hour. Down to the 4 hour. Dropping down to the 2 hour. Dropping down to the 30 minute. Down to the 15. Down to the 10. Down to the 1 minute. And it looks like we are good to go. So, all right, guys, good morning, everybody. Today is Thursday, July 11th. It is 6:25 right now. Market's going to open up in about 5 minutes. Looks like about half of you guys are here so far. So we are ready to kick off this trading day. So I've marked up liquidity over here. Obviously, you guys can see the big spikes here based off news at 5:30, which was CPI. News was negative, but price spiked up in the opposite direction. Typical manipulation there. Looking at this here, so the closest level of liquidity above is at 40,081. I think this is a little too close, so this might get hit pre-market. And the closest level below is at 39,988. Next level above is at 40,164. And the next closest level below is at 39,962. So looking at this here, if price pushes up, I think the target price point is going to be this level up here. And again, if price pushes below, target's going to be down here somewhere. There's just a lot of targets where price is currently at right now. Price can likely push down to the sessions right here, maybe tap the liquidity, or if price pushes up, of course, it's in a cleaner space up there. So that's kind of what we're looking for here. I'm going to be a little more conservative today, guys, because I want to make sure that we don't get caught in the chop like we did yesterday. I'm not going to hop in right away. I did trade pre-market, traded the news push right here. So you guys saw my profits in the Discord. Here are my profits. So basically past 10 accounts, I blew these 10, but I'm going to reset them. The reset's so cheap that it was kind of worth the risk. Basically risked about like 300 or 400 bucks to get 10 300K PAs. So you can see over here, I now have 15 PA accounts. I'll have 20 by tomorrow. Pretty much the goal there. It's like cough is killing me. All right, so let's see who's here so far. Morning CJ, morning Sadie, morning CRX, morning Daniel, morning Maria, morning Nikki, morning Joe, morning everybody. But yeah, guys, some of you guys messaged me this morning. A lot of you guys kind of did what I did pre-market. I don't really do anything specific. I kind of just chased the price when price was going up. And locked in those accounts. So I think a lot of you guys here got some new PA accounts. So congrats to you guys. But yeah, for today, I'm only going to be trading my my PA accounts and my personal account. So you can see my personal account up here has no profits because I didn't trade it yet. And then my PA accounts right here, no profits either. Those are the only accounts I'll be trading during this live session. Obviously, I can't trade my other accounts because those are PAs and the other ones are going to be reset by tomorrow. So looks like we are good to go. Market's going to open up in about 2 minutes, guys. Again, like I said, first target's going to be up here. If price pushes up higher, I'll be looking for price to kind of, I guess, stabilize a little bit. We have one more news event today at 7:30. So let me just mark this up real quick. Obviously, the big spike right here. That's CPI. There's trade balance at 6, which is low impact. Just like right here. And then we have one more news event over here at 7:30. So, all right, guys, market is about to open and we will go from here. There goes the target up there. And of course, the target down here. All right, we got market opening up in about 30 seconds. And we'll go from there. So yeah, I'm currently at 15 PA, guys. Gonna be at 20 PAs by tomorrow, hopefully. And yeah, maxed out finally. All right, guys, so market is opening up in about 15 seconds. And we got market open right here. Really low volatility right now, surprisingly. So the volatility is super low. Again, I'm not going to be hopping into trades until I have like some sort of direction. Yesterday, we were in that chop. We were stuck in between that range and I got caught twice. Surprisingly, no movement here on open. I was expecting a little bit more movement, a reaction to the news from this morning. It'll probably happen eventually. It's just going to be a matter of time until it starts to move. So we'll see if price comes down or if it stays above. Currently, right now, the bias was bullish. You can see price was above the pivots pre-market. The trend meter was blue, turning to green. And the divergence was bullish here too. So we'll see if it stays below or if it ends up pushing back up. All right, so the volatility is picking back up. I think a lot of people are just kind of waiting for the bigger players to push price because the inflation news from this morning was negative, of course. So price typically would go down, right? So I think a lot of people are just waiting for some sort of direction here to be placed. And there goes the direction right there. This price starts to come down a bit lower. The bias right now is not bearish yet, so I'm not really looking for some sells at this moment. For the first target right here is going to be the sessions, like I said. Down here, price is pushing down to that point. There's no entries here for me to take specifically. I mean, technically, if you wanted to take the sell, you could have when price swung up and came back down. But for me personally, I would have just waited. The bias here isn't very confirmed yet. The trend meter is starting to shift, but it's not really confirmed yet. So again, if price drops down lower, this is going to be the first target. It's going to be the sessions and the liquidity. If price pushes up, the first target is going to be right here around this area, the levels and the liquidity right there. So there's two different areas here. I mean, the main target is going to be up here, of course, because this is going to be out in the open. But the first target before it reaches that point is going to be the levels and the 100 level right here. Here we go, as price comes back down. Again, technically, this could have been another entry if you wanted to take it for a sell. The target price point down here hasn't been hit yet. So when price swung up and came back down, you could have taken this for a sell. But like I said earlier, I don't want to get caught in the chop like we did yesterday. So I'm going to wait for some actual movement here before I start taking any entries. Right now, price is just sitting right here. So I'm going to wait for it to push out of this area and continue climbing down. So I probably won't take any trades until price gets past this first target. So I'll be looking for price to push past the first target, continuation, and then I'll look for some entries down here. This area right here is just a little too tricky. It's looking like it did yesterday. So you guys have to learn from your mistakes. Yesterday I made the mistake of hopping in too early because typically the market before that was moving very volatile and directional. And then obviously we got caught in the chop. This is price inside the chop right now. So the chop is looking like between the 100 mark right here and the 40,000 mark right here. That's basically where price is kind of ranging between this upper level and this lower level right here. And that's where both of our targets are. It's almost there. It looks like it's coming down, reaching down to the first target. There goes the first target right there. Like I said, the sessions. Again, I wouldn't really take any trades around this area. If you guys took any entries right here, it looks like you could have made, I mean, there's a bunch of different opportunities here that you could have taken. There's one up here and one right here, basically the previous two candles. But again, like I said, I don't want to get caught in the chop. There are entries there, but none that are really like pointing out to me to take because I don't want to get caught in this in this whipsaw. Looks like price isn't really whipsawing as much as it did yesterday. Yesterday was pretty crazy. If you guys remember during the live session, we had price kind of come down, then it came all the way up. And it's basically whipsawing like, like 50 points. Right here, we're getting some better direction. So the first target there got hit already, guys. The next target's going to be down here at the next level. So first target of session and liquidity right there got hit. And price looks like it just filled the gap from news earlier. So it came back down to the news price right here. Basically, price gapped up right here based off the inflation CPI news. Then it came back down right here pre-market. And then it came back up right here for correction. And then it came right back down right here on open. So again, if price pushes back up, the target's still going to be up here. Actually, the first target's going to be the opening price now. So if we do get a correction back up, the target's actually going to be opening price right here. But you guys can see that price is still within the chop that we talked about earlier, right? This is currently the range right now. It's at the 40,000 mark. Price hasn't really confirmed that it's broken below it. It's broken, but it hasn't closed. So again, right here, this candle's trying to break and close below it. It broke below, but hasn't closed. There's just a lot of red flags right here. We have the sessions in this area. It's not a good area to be trading in. Right, so I'm mainly focusing right here on the session. So liquidity right here just got hit, guys, if anybody took that. I'll clean this up shortly. Again, the next target price point is going to be down here if price continues to climb down further. Again, the only problem here is that price is stuck at the session. It's having trouble getting past this purple line right here. So I'm going to take off this liquidity just to clean it up a little bit. Target price point right there got hit. There goes the next level of liquidity. The next target is going to be the level down here that I circled. So I still don't feel comfortable trading around this specific area right here. I'll give it a few more moments for it to drop even further. I'm also going to look out for the possible fake out here and the correction back up. There we go. Price breaks below. All right, so price is currently sitting right here. It's pushing down to the next target. There goes the almost there. There we go. Next target right there got hit. So now price continues to drop lower. The next target is going to be down here. So now that price has kind of pushed down quite a bit, I'll be looking for some possible opportunities here to get in for a sell. Liquidity right there just got hit. So there's two levels of liquidity. The first one up here got hit. Then this one right here got hit. Now if price continues to drop lower, I'll continue to look for the continuation. So the next target's going to be down here. I'll clean this up, take off the liquidity. Or actually, I'll leave it there for now until price is actually broken and closed past it. There's a double body rejection right here. This could be a possible reversal back up if it closes. Looks like it's not going to happen. All right, so we did get the double body rejection right there. As you guys know, that's a V1 variation pattern. So this could be a possible reversal back to the upside, and it's also at a lower low. So I'll leave this liquidity here just for now. If price corrects back up, the target price point is going to be the opening price right here, that blue line. If it continues to drop, then the target price point is going to be even lower right here. There's no entry here yet. I'm going to take this liquidity off to clean this up a little bit. So there's no entry here yet, but we do have a direction. So price is coming down. Next target price point is going to be this level. And then if price drops even further, this is going to be the bigger target price point if price continues to drop even lower from here. It's going to be the sessions, liquidity, and the levels down below. But this is where we're currently at. So this is where we'll focus. Again, I'm going to look for some volatility spikes here. So I'm basically looking for price to push up kind of hard, bounce off the pivot, and come back down to come back to the target price point below. The volatility here is starting to slow down a little bit. So it's going to be a little tricky possibly if that becomes the case. We want the volatility to stay high. So if the volatility here starts to slow down, you want to be careful because it might start to consolidate around this area. All right, so price hasn't came up and bounced off the pivot yet. Again, we're still waiting. We got 10 seconds left on this candle. It's not touching it yet. We'll see if it touches on this next candle right here. So there's a possibility for opportunity for entry. The only problem is that it's going to be touching the sessions most likely. So again, this is just another tricky area to be trading in. I don't like trading around these red flags where these sessions are at because that's typically where price gets manipulated. There was an opportunity right here for a market flow entry. As you guys can see, price came up, bounced off the pivot. I was just a little too worried to take it because it's so close to these sessions right there. And the last thing I wanted to happen was enter a trade and then it spikes up to the session and then it comes back down super hard, right? So the entry right there happened for the market flow if anybody decided to take it. It's currently running in profit. If you guys use the trailing stop feature that we discussed yesterday, big thanks to Nick for introducing that to us. He's the brains behind that. Looks like Max used it actually. So Max said that cash down from the ATM strat startled me when it triggered. Yeah, Drew used it. Max used it, worked out perfect. If you guys used it right here, it looks like you would have pulled out at 10 points ready profit. So again, like I said, this is why I was worried about taking any trades around this area because this is where the sessions was. And, it's a little too tricky. So again, I would look for price to come back down further, bounce up and come back down like that. I don't really want to trade around this area right here where the sessions is at. You got to keep in mind these red flags are red flags for a reason. So we got some team profits here so far. We got Drew, he said one and done. Total profit of 8,228. He locked in 1,028 per account. He has 8 PA accounts right here. All wins. Nice work right there, Drew. And then 4,000 per account right here for the week. Killing it. All right, guys, solid profit so far. For those of you who've taken some entries here, there's a lot of opportunities that came up so far. It's just up to your risk preference, right? Right now, I'm trying to trade a bit more conservative because of yesterday's trades. I didn't want to get caught in the chop. Obviously, you can see the chop here is still pretty relevant. Price is now kind of ranging between the 40,000 mark and the 950 mark right here. So this is where price is currently ranging between. 642 right now, so there's still time, guys. Don't worry, there's still time to take entries. It's just, depending on how conservative you want to be. It's in a bad area right now because of the sessions. The sessions and the news price, it's just not a good area to trade in right here. There's high impact news from CPI this morning. And then also, let me fix this. So the CPI news actually lines up with this level right here at the 40,000 mark, like right on the dot. Yeah, Drew said a lot of sellers in the market after the huge push after Powell yesterday. Yeah, I agree. I think a lot of people found the market to be a bit overextended, so they ended up kind of piling in. Let's take a look at retail sentiment. Yeah, retail sentiment's pretty heavy right now. It's currently 65% short. So this indicates that 65% of retail traders are currently selling right now. So typically you want to look for some buys, but of course you want to wait for some confirmation here before that happens. So if prices doesn't come back down, then this sell right here is pretty much going to be just pending, or it's going to be waiting until it comes back down. I think price is going to push up though. My guess for today was that price was going to be bullish anyways. So it's not really a surprise that price is pushing up. Preferably, I'd rather take buys here, especially because the retail sentiment is 65% short. Let's take a look at CNBC real quick. Looking over here at the Dow, it's currently down 32 points, so it's pretty much neutral at this moment. Looking at the news for today, we got news at 7:30, and that is about it. So we'll see where this goes. I mean, price is still in between this area right here. Looks like price just came down, came right back up. This is initially where the range was from this morning. So market opened over here at 6:30. This was the original range. So price is back into the original range from market open. Not too much going on here. Again, the target price points can be opening price right here. If price continues to climb back up, that's going to be the first target. But you guys can see how this first target's it's in an area where there's a lot of manipulation that may happen. There's a New York high right here, the Asia high that's right here on this level. This whole area here is just a tricky area to be trading in. And then again, right here, we still have the Asia low. So you guys can see the range from Asia session was not very much. Like price didn't even move at all during Asia session. The Asia high and the Asia low, the range between these two price points is about 58 points. So it's barely any movement between Asia session. That's actually really tight. I don't think I've seen it that tight in a long time for Asia, because Asia is such a long session, right? Between 2 and basically midnight. Yeah, Nick said, yeah, I noticed that earlier. Thought it was pretty wild. Had a feeling this would be the case today. Yeah. I know me and Nick discussed it earlier when he traded pre-market that this will probably be the case where price will just consolidate and range sideways. That's exactly what's happening. It's kind of no surprise here because of the big movement here pre-market. This is why I decided to trade pre-market to basically get my moves in for my accounts before we got into this chop here. Surprisingly, the market's been kind of sideways for, I think, starting Tuesday. So Monday was okay. Tuesday was decent. It wasn't great, but it was decent. It was pretty slow after Powell started speaking. And then yesterday the market was pretty much flat for the entire live session. And then today again, price moved, but it's still kind of it's not really directional. It's moving like volatility wise, price is moving, but there's no direction here. There's no continuation to the upside. There's no continuation to the downside. This is pretty much normal summer market. But there's more volatility here for sure. Yeah, Nick said, well, the big movement was expected. That was what was unexpected was how it came back from the movement before 6:30. Yeah, I wasn't expecting this correction to happen right away. Typically, you get a big move and then price will go sideways. And then when it opens, then it corrects, right? But it happened super early right here, pre-market. So all this stuff that happened right here, I was expecting this to happen when market opened. But because it already happened, it didn't end up happening here. It pushed down a little further right here, but not as much as was what we were expecting. All right. So we currently still have a bearish bias right now, guys. Just a heads up, we still have a bearish bias. I mean, if this swings back down, you could technically take this for a market flow entry back down. Never mind, it didn't happen. But yeah, so the bias is still bearish right now until price actually shifts above. So I wouldn't really take any entries right here until open. This is going to be the first target price point. I'll be looking for entries when it pushes above it. So I'll be looking for my entries above here. 648 right now. It's getting closer to 7. So we got some slight volatility here, nothing too crazy. And now the market here has kind of died down a little bit. But yeah, I'm not looking for any entries until price pushes above this area right here. Let's see, Kim said my measurement tool is different now. How did you change the settings to keep it green on top? Make sure you're using the right tool, Kim. So like, make sure you're not using the measuring tool, because if you're using the measuring tool, it's going to be blue and red like this. You have to use the long and short tool. So long position tool or short position tool. If you're using price range, it's going to show up blue too. But I think by default, it always shows up green and red if you use a long tool. So if you use a long tool, it's going to show green and red. If you use a short tool, it's going to show red and green. So back to open right there. Yeah, exactly, Drew. So there goes the first target, guys. So like I said, I circled it right here. I said if price pushes back up, it's going to push up to this target right there. That's exactly where it went to. Again, I'm not really looking to take any entries around this area. I'm looking for it to push up higher away from these red flags. So I'll take some entries up here, but not necessarily right here at the open price. I would like to, but there's so many red flags here. We have the Asia high, we have the New York high. It's just an area where a lot of manipulation may tend to happen. So I'm not looking to get caught in fake outs, whipsaws, any of that stuff that could put my accounts at risk. Kim said things had completely disappeared on my screen, but I refresh and it's back. Yeah, no problem, Kim. It happens sometimes. So if your trading view is acting kind of weird, guys, just refresh your trading view. Sometimes the data gets corrupted. You just have to refresh it and it'll update. All right, guys. So the first target right there got hit. Next target is going to be the liquidity up here. And then the next target above that is going to be up here. So I'm really going to be taking some entries or looking to take some entries above this area right here. This is what I was looking for anyways. I wanted price to be bullish, mainly because retail is trading short. So I typically want to do the opposite of them. All right, so I'm gonna need this to climb up a little bit further. Let's see if it finally breaks out of this area. Again, it's gonna have trouble getting past the sessions right here. You can see how this green candle pushed up, bounced off the New York high, and then now it's kind of coming back down. Yeah, exactly. Nick said, of course, it'll pop perfect entry right across the sessions and opening price. Exactly right. I mean, technically right here too, it came up, came down, bounced off the sessions, and then it shot right through. That would have been a nice entry to take, but of course, it's right at the session. So again, guys, price is right at the sessions right here. Kind of just waiting a little bit. It's pushed up to this liquidity. So price is now pushed past liquidity at this point. That was the next target. First target was a blue right here. Opening price. Next target was liquidity. Price is now pushing through liquidity and aiming for the next target up here. Nice. Sadie caught the liquidity. I'm just waiting right now, guys. Waiting for my opportunity to get in. Yeah, Nick said watch candles closely. Rejection happens fast. Yeah, if you guys see the rejection, you can basically look for the rejection off any structure. It can be off the level, it can be off liquidity, it can be off the sessions, it can be off, I mean, anything really. The main thing I'm looking for here is the pivots. For me personally, I'm just looking for the pivots. I mean, you can trade off the levels. Nice. So William over here caught the liquidity. So here are William's profits for the day. I'm continuing to watch here, guys. There's nothing for me to take here yet, but I'm going to continue watching. We have David here with a total profit of 135 for the day. Nice work, David. And here are William's profits for the day. So William locked in 315 per account. He has 20 accounts there. So I think that's... So William locked in about 6,300 for the day. Nice work, William. All wins right there. Took the liquidity push. There's another rejection right here for market flow. It happened off the level. This is basically a level entry. If anybody took the level entry, you guys could have got in right there. Yeah, levels just got hit. Thanks for Sheeta for the heads up. So there goes levels right there. Again, I'm looking for opportunity here. There's two entries that came up. There was a levels entry, price broke and closed above the level here, the 100 mark. Price came back down to fill it, shot right through. This was also an entry for a market flow. We caught the rejection off there. Yeah, there's a bunch of opportunities right there. Oscar said just passed 150K eval in 3 days. Nice work, Oscar. Congrats. If this pushes back up, this could be a possible opportunity for a buy, guys. I'm not going to take it because it didn't reject off any structure. I want price to reject off structure. So if this came down and bounced off the level and then shot right back up, I'd be more inclined to take it. But because this here did not bounce off any structure, I'm probably going to hold off on it. But this would have been a nice rejection if it came down hard and then it shot right back up, of course. So still nothing there. Again, the target price point, if it continues to push up, is going to be the liquidity and the levels up here. So that's kind of what I'm looking for. The volatility right now isn't like super great. It's okay, but it's not great. So if you measure these candles here, these candles are probably moving around 20 points. Not the body, but just the entire candle. Around 20 points. Not too bad. So what I'm going to look for here is I'm going to look for price to come down hard, bounce off the pivot, and shoot right back up. And that's where I'm going to be looking to take my entry. So you got price coming down right here. It's not going to have enough time to swing back up because it has about 10 seconds left on this candle. Then take off this liquidity here. No, I'm not going to take this here, guys. I see this coming down. It's probably going to bounce off the session. I don't really like the session bounces as much. Unless it comes down super hard. If it comes down and bounces off opening price and the sessions, then I'll possibly be looking to take this if it corrects back up. But the volatility has to be there. Like it needs to come down pretty hard and then come right back up. All right, so I'll be watching this here. If this candle swings back, it's probably not going to happen, but if it swings back green, I'll be looking to take this for a possible buy. It's not going to happen. Got 10 seconds left on the candle. It's too far down. Yeah, no entry there. All right, so again, I'll just look for price to push back up. I'll look for that correction right here and climb it around this area up here. I'm not going to take it this far low. It's down in the red flag area again, so it's not going to be an area that I want to trade in. Look for it to come up, retrace, and shoot back up from there. Again, target price point's still up here, so I'll be waiting for it. All right, so nothing here yet, guys. Again, like I said, I don't want to trade around this area, so I'm looking for price to push up, come back down, and go up to the target price point, which is up here. It looks like we'll just hang tight for now. Not really too much to see here. If you guys have profits to post, feel free to send them in. I don't have any profits from this specific live session, but I do have profits from my pre-market trading. So these are pretty much my profits for the day. All right, the volatility here is starting to slow down. This is normal. It's about to be 7 o'clock, so this is typically where we start to see the volatility die down. No surprise here with this. Market is pretty much dead now at 7 o'clock. So I'll keep looking for opportunities here, but right now there's just nothing for us to take. The market's completely flat here at 7 o'clock. We had some push back and forth over here, but no actual entries that we could necessarily take because of all the red flags. With the sessions down here, we couldn't take any trades for sells. With these sessions up here, we couldn't take any trades for buys. I mean, technically, there's some people in the group who did take trades, but they're obviously red flags that I wouldn't mess with. All right, let me just clean this up. We'll just focus on this area right here, of course, until price breaks out. I mean, it's kind of fine where it's at right now because we would want price to push above this level here anyways. So looks like the consolidation is happening between the 100 and the 50 mark right here. So we're going to push back up right here, but it looks like if price does consolidate, it'll sit between this middle area. And again, that's the reason why we're looking for price to push up and provide entry from up here. So we're getting some volatility right here as price begins to climb back up higher. It's a nice volatile candle at this point. All right, looks like Nick's out for the day. Sorry, Nick. We'll see you back here tomorrow. All right, there may be an opportunity right here, guys. This swings back green. All right, so there's an entry right here that's available.
Order submitted.
I didn't get in at prime entry, so I have to pull out early from here. Once it pushes up, watching it. Yeah, the entry wasn't the best for me right there because I got in and then it killed me a few points late. So let me see where the TP is at. It's at 11. That's just 1 point off.
Stop filled.
Wait, what?
Order filled.
Order filled.
That was weird. Okay, so for some reason my stuff got, it said stop filled for some reason, but it hit my TP on all of them. I don't know why. I got an error on one of my accounts. They're all in profit though. All right, whatever. Anyways, there's the profit right there. Okay, so Nick said it's been doing that. Okay, good to know. Yeah, so Nick said it's been doing that, so not necessarily a big issue there. Okay, so there goes a profit right there. We had one trade right there. Finally, that came up. Entry happened at 7:01. For some reason, I got an error on my Ninja. I don't know which account was it, if it was an Apex account or my personal account, but it's okay. Let me put that over here. That just kind of tripped me out because I had to automatically flatten it myself. 7:01. Looks like all you guys here caught it with me, so nice work. And let me take a screenshot of my profits here. I hate how this thing like, let me see if I can do this. Okay, perfect. Just don't like when it highlights like one of my accounts when I take a screenshot. I know it's nothing serious. It's my OCD that kind of annoys me when I see one getting highlighted. Okay, so here are my profits. All right, we'll keep looking for another opportunity here, but looking at how price is currently moving, the volatility's pretty much died down a bit. So here are my profits for the day. So we took this trade right here for market flow. We had the rejection off the pivot right there, came back up, swinged up green. I said if it swung up green, I'll take the trade. Entered the trade there, hit my full TP, and here are my profits so far. So I locked in 305 on my personal account, 270 on this account, 150 on this one, 300, 350, 190. Yeah, I mean, decent profits right here across my account. Some slippage, of course, and then of course my other accounts right here with the big wins. So there goes one win right there. We'll keep looking for another opportunity. Again, if the volatility picks back up, great. If the volatility stays low, might just sit out of the market. But I'm pretty satisfied with the profits for the day so far. So I'm not going to force any trades here. Of course, you know, it's a news day. If I see something good, I'll take it. If I don't, then I will just continue to follow along and give some heads up for some entries here. Again, if price continues to climb up, the target price point is this level right here, the liquidity. It's not there yet, but it's pushing up to it. So I'd be looking for the same thing again, push down, correction back up. Right now we have a bullish momentum. We have price above the pivots. It's in a bullish bias. Trend meter is green, divergence is bullish. Everything looks good here for a buy. It's just really waiting for those opportunities to actually get in, which is what matters the most. So again, right here, if we get a sharp retracement and continuation, I'll be looking to take that right back up. Target price point's going to be up here, of course. So we have some sort of area to aim for. Nice. Yeah, William said, heck yes, cash in the money account like Wednesday morning, definitely. Jonathan used a trailing stop, worked out perfect for him. Sadie said he had bad entry, but thank God it shot right through. HP said I got an error too. It automatically shorted positions when it hit TP. Yeah, it's weird, right? That's why I had to manually close mine out. Steven said it sounds like looked like a Halloween thing. Steven made 50 bucks off the trade. Nice work, Steven. Oscar took the breakout B3 continuation. So guys, there's like a ton of entries that came up right here. We took the entry here, and then Oscar got in right here for the breakout B3 continuation. There was a buy signal here. This is actually the breakout B3, it looks like, Oscar. So it lined up perfectly because you had a double body rejection right here. You had the breakout B3 that came up right here. And it looks like it pushed up to full TP. So whether you guys took it as a breakout B3, the official breakout B3, or if you took it as a breakout B3 continuation, either way would have hit your TP right there. Price is pushing back up further to the target, like I mentioned earlier. Target's going to be up here, almost there. And there's a lot of entries here. So if you guys are not familiar with the strategies, I do highly recommend that you go back and review the strategies because the market flow entries aren't the only entries that are coming up. Right, there was a breakout V3 continuation and a official breakout V3 that came up right here. There's also a pivot scalp. There's also a V1 variation right here. There's a bunch of entries that came up right here. So depending on how many strategies you guys are familiar with that we apply, there's a V1 variation, breakout V3 continuation, pivot scalp, breakout V3, and then a market flow entry that we took right there as well. It's about 4 or 5 entries that came up in this one little time frame right here. So target price points getting hit right there, guys, for liquidity. It's continuing to push up. William said he just realized it's Thursday, not Wednesday. Yeah, it's all good. Coming back from a long weekend. Days are kind of screwed up. Jonathan said he's out for the day. All right, Jonathan, great profits. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Adam's asking for the BB3, you'd still take 25 ticks. If you're doing the actual breakout B3, you would take 25 ticks. But if you're doing the continuation, you would do 15-15, Adam. Or you can do 10-30. It's up to you, whatever your preference is. If you want to do the negative, you can do 10-15, 10-20. If you want to do 1-to-1, you can do 15-15. If you want to do the full breakout B3, you can do 25-25. So it kind of just depends on which one you're applying. If it's a continuation or if it's the full move. The actual full move hasn't came up in a while. That's why I wasn't really looking for it. But I looked back over here and I said, okay, there was a double wick rejection right there. And then it followed up with the actual entry. So technically you could have taken it for the full move. For me personally, since I wasn't looking for it, I would have taken it for a 15-15. It just would have met my criteria a little better. All right, so there's no entry here yet, guys. Price is still pushing up to the target. It hasn't actually touched it yet, so that's a good sign. Since it hasn't touched it yet, you can actually look for the retracement and the continuation. Once price has touched the target, though, it's pretty much used already, and at that point, it's not really going to be any value to you because price is pretty much done with the directional move. So right here, it looks like price is attempting to push it, has not touched it yet, so it can still pull back and push up. However, if it does touch it, this direction is pretty much done, and you'd have to look for the next target, which would be up here. All right, we got some more team profits over here. So we got Jonathan. He locked in about 1,000 per account. He has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 accounts. So we locked in well over 5,000 for the day. Nice for Jonathan. Yeah, Jonathan said he's not going to trade tomorrow, so he made his lock. He locked in all of his profits for today. And then we also have Jessica down here. Jessica locked in 1,000 for the day, all wins. Nice work, Jessica. All right, solid. Happy to see a lot of you guys here profiting with us. There's a ton of different entries that you guys can take. There's not just one. So depending on what strategy you guys are looking for me personally, I'm mainly looking for the market flow entries. But again, you don't have to look for market flow entries. They're not necessary. I just find that to be the entries that I'm most comfortable with taking right now. All right, so other than that, We'll continue to look for some more opportunities here for entry. At this moment, there's just nothing right now, but we will see. So the target price point is still on the way. Price is pushing up to this next target price point up here. Liquidity right here is done, so I'm gonna take this off. If you guys took that liquidity entry, full TP on that as well. There's a ton of entries here, guys. So depending on what strategy you're looking for, whether it be liquidity, market flow, breakout V3, V1 variation, pivot scalp, momentum scalp, etc. I just named about like 10 strategies right there that you could have used easily to lock in at least one winning trade. So we will go from there. Steven said at 6,000 after profit split will be 5,400 in your pocket. So you get the full amount for X amount, Steven. So for your first couple payouts, there's a certain amount where you get 100%. So it doesn't go to 90% until after you've received the full 100% of whatever is allotted for your specific account size. So technically, I mean, if your cap is at 6,000, you get the full 6,000 initially. And then from there, you start to get your percentage, which is a good thing with Apex. A lot of people don't realize that. Yeah, I think it's the first 25,000, like CJ said. So yeah, Steven, thanks CJ for confirming that. Your first 25,000 that you withdraw is all yours. There's no profit split. And then from there, it becomes a 90-10 profit split. Which 90-10 is really good. All right, so the volatility here is starting to slow down a little bit. What was expected? As it gets closer and closer to 8 o'clock, the volatility just gets slower and slower. I mean, even for these candles right here, I wouldn't really mess with these because they're moving. They're moving directional, but they're not volatile enough. So the target up here still hasn't gotten hit, as you guys can see. Yeah, say done for the day. Thanks, Sean, for coming live today, and Nick for he knows why. Yeah, exactly. That tool is really good, guys. So if you guys haven't set up that trailing stop loss, it's super useful, right? Of course, you'd want your TP to hit, but basically when it hits 13 points, you're basically guaranteed 10 or 15 points at that point. So super useful. I think majority of you guys here are using it. So glad to see your guys' profits here for the day and for the week so far. You guys have been killing it. So guys, you know, this is a summer market. Typically summer markets are not good for majority of people. Of course, I'm familiar with like other groups. I'm not in any other groups, but I know the owners of other groups, of course. Not everybody's doing so hot. Like not during this type of market. This market's not the easiest market to trade in, especially when the volatility dies down. It's really hard to understand when to trade and when not to trade. So thankfully, everybody here is kind of following directions, so you guys understand what to do, and you guys kind of see where the volatility here starts to die down. Like for example, here the volatility is pretty low, so I'm not looking to take any entries around here. And a lot of you guys are in the same boat, right? So you just got to follow it candle by candle, and that's the best way to really have an upper hand in this market. Because if you stick to one thing and you don't really focus on the full spectrum of the market, like understanding the volatility, understanding how the market structure changes, and the fake outs and stuff like that, it's going to be difficult for you to be like consistently profitable long term. So you got to adapt with the market. The market's not always going to work in your favor. You just have to find little things to adapt with to be able to stay profitable when the market's not doing exactly what you're looking for. So let's see, I'm going to measure this candle right here and see how far it's moving. All right, the volatility here is picking up quite a bit. Again, not a lot, but decently amount. So again, right here, there's a possible opportunity for a market flow entry. There's a pending sell signal on this candle though, so you want to be a little careful. With this here. Nikki's asking, where can I learn about it? What are you referring to, Nikki? Sorry, I just don't know what you're talking, because I kind of went off. I talked about a bunch of different things at once, so I'm not sure what you're referring to. It's not really an ATM strat. It's just a trailing stop. So if you try on your trailing stop, you would have it set to here, and I'll send in the group. So let me go over here real quick to the Discord. All right, so I put it right there, Nikki, if you want to take a look at it. Those are the exact settings that I'm using. So basically, I have my profit trigger to 13. So when I get to 13 points in profit, my stop loss gets moved to 10 points. So I basically guarantee 10 points. And that's where you would set it up at. It's under the stop strategy, which would be under the ATM strategy. Yeah, no problem, Nikki. Yeah, because it's just a trailing, it's a trailing, it basically automatically, like when you get to 13 points, it automatically moves your stop loss to 10 points. So if it pulls back, you're guaranteed 10 points. And if it goes to full TP, 15 points, you get your 15. So you basically, it basically takes the greed away. So you don't like close early or any of that stuff. You're just like, okay, it's gonna hit my TP or it's not, right? Yeah, it's super, super useful. Yeah, CJ said May whoop your asses. So this month, market is a breeze. Yeah, we had to adapt with the market. So the reason why I'm doing market flow entries more so than the confirmed entries are because of the market conditions, right? The market conditions right now aren't super great. Like you'll see sometimes that for the breakout V3, for example, sometimes you'll see the breakout V3, and by the time it comes up, it's already too late. Price starts to reverse. So I've been taking entries mid candle, which is typically how I normally trade anyways. It's just an advanced way of trading. So it's not too beginner friendly, but once you understand what you're looking for, it becomes pretty easy. So, I mean, that's the way I would trade a long time ago. Well, I still do trades like that sometimes, but not really on the live because it's difficult for a lot of people to follow. All right, so the target up here actually didn't get hit, guys. Price is now coming back down, which is completely fine here. You can still look for an opportunity for a buy. So if you're looking for a buy here, you'd probably look for price to come down super hard, bounce off the pivot and swing back up. This right here didn't bounce off the pivot, so I didn't necessarily think it'd be an entry here to look for. Yeah, exactly. So William said this is an example of a breakout V3 short, breakout V3 continuation short, or breakout V3. It's against the trend though, so it's not one that I personally want to take, but you can see over here that it did hit TP. So, I mean, if you wanted to take it for a short, I mean, technically you could, but I don't really like to trade against the trend. So if price comes down further, guys, the target price point is going to be back to open again down here. So if it continues to fall down from this point, this is likely where price is going to push down to. So, like a lot of people here in the group, you don't have to trade my strategies. You guys can be trading your own strategies. You guys can just use my target price points as your goal, right? If you're looking for a sell here for a counter trend trade, this is where you're expecting price to come down and hit the opening price. So I know a lot of you guys here don't even use my strategies. You guys just like to listen to my analysis, which is perfectly fine. You don't have to trade my way. I'm here to help you guys as much as possible. So I'll tell you guys where I think price is going to go, and you guys can apply whichever strategy you guys personally like. Like for example, here, I know some people like to take reversal patterns, right? So this right here is a higher high with a V1 variation. There's a double wick rejection right there. You could have rode this down to opening price, or if you saw the breakout V3 continuation pattern right here, this also could have showed you, okay, you could have taken an entry right there for a sell. So I'll help you guys as much as possible here. I know there's no one way to trade. My way to trade is not the only way. It's probably not the best way for most people because not a lot of people have the discipline to really focus on like these types of entries. These entries require a lot of discipline and focus because they happen so quickly, right? Like for example, right here, if this candle swings back up green, this could be a possible market flow entry. You got to be focused on it because this can easily swing up green at when you least expect it. So this candle right here has about 20 seconds left on it. Technically, if it swings back green, that could be a market flow entry back up. Or if not, you can look for the market flow entry to the downside. So there's actually market flow entries right here back to the downside as well. Pretty much take market flow in both directions. So here goes the target right there, guys. Opening price. It's not there yet. Almost. But again, it kind of just depends on what strategy you guys are applying, whether it be my strategy, whether it be your strategy. All of my strategies are typically in the direction of the trend, though. So you'll never really see me trade counter trend in the opposite direction. There's a possible CV entry right here if anybody's looking for that. It's rejecting off the sessions, though, so it's a little tricky. I don't know if it's one that I would personally take, for that specific reason there. Yeah, exactly. Williams is saying trend is your friend. Typically only go in the direction of the trend here. So again, this could be a possible CV entry if this pulls back a little bit. If the candle is bigger, it's not going to be a CV. It's probably this is another reversal pattern actually. So this would be considered a variation V3. A lot of people don't look at the variation V3 because it doesn't come up as often. And there goes a CV entry right there. This would have been a buy for 10 points. I just don't like where it's currently at. So the reason why the CV would have been tricky, like I said, was because it's touching the sessions. That's considered a red flag, as you guys know. I don't like to take any trades that either have to reach the sessions or that's touching the sessions. That's typically where manipulation may typically happen. So there goes the CV entry right there. If you guys took it full TP, if you guys didn't, again, it's completely fine. I just gave you guys a heads up that there was a CV there if you wanted to take it. And that right there went straight to TP. So the CV here happened because there was a low with the red candle, followed by a green candle that was smaller. And the logic behind this is that you're expecting this candle to fill this red candle right here, which it did. And this is a reversal pattern. So we got price reversing back up. This could be possible opportunity for a swing back to the upside. So the volatility here is kind of low, but what you could look for here is if this candle swings back green, this could be a market flow entry. I'm not going to take this here. Again, like I said, I don't like this whole area where it's currently at. But this could be a possible market flow entry if this swings back up green. It's got about 30 seconds left on it, so it has a lot of time. It's got 25 seconds. Whenever the ticker gets down to like the 15-second, 10-second mark, at that point, I'm like, okay, it's too late. It's not going to happen. Right now, it's at the 15. It's probably not going to swing up, like I said. This whole area right here is not a good area because of the sessions right here. This is why I don't like to trade near the sessions because you'll see stuff like this. Price just keeps going back and forth. Retest, back and forth. Eventually, it'll come down and hit the target. But until then, it's just going to keep bouncing back and forth. There goes the target right there. It just hit the opening price. All right, so price hit the target right there for a correction. Looks like it's bouncing off the opening price. So this again could have been an entry for market flow. This actually would have been a decent entry, but I just didn't like it because it was at the sessions. But this over here could have been a market flow entry. Yeah, so this right here was actually nice. The reason why it's nice is because you guys can see the big wick below. It hit the target and it bounced right back up. But I wouldn't want to take it because of the sessions right there. We're having some volatility here again. Whenever price gets near the session, it typically has a volatility spike because that's, like I said, that's where manipulation happens. Whenever price gets near these points, you can see the session down here. When price comes down and touches it, it'll typically bounce off it or break through it. So bounced here, bounce here, bounce here, broke through it, bounce here, broke through it. Same with this one right here. It came down, bounced, came back down, bounced. And one of two things will likely happen here. So now that price is currently climbing back up, this is what may happen. Price may push up, retrace, continuation higher. That's one. The second one is price may come below and climb down further to this lower level. So a lot of different scenarios here. You don't want too many scenarios. You want basically one or two scenarios. You want price to either go up or you want price to go down. If there's too many scenarios where price can bounce up and continue climbing, or go sideways, or go below, and then sideways, those are all things that you want to keep in mind because it's really hard to find two scenarios. Like for example, over here for this entry right here, there's only two scenarios, right? Price was either going to climb up or price was going to reverse on us. And I was fine with that because I understood the risk and I was okay with taking that risk. With this right here, there's just too many scenarios. Price will either consolidate around this area. That's one. The other scenario is price will push up and climb up higher. Third scenario is price may come below and drop further. But the problem here is that there's another session right here. So you might get something like this where price comes below and then bounces directly off it. Because you have, let me turn off the levels right here. You have three levels here that are just, it's in a whole area of manipulation. You have the sessions, New York session high, you have the opening price, and then you have the Asia high right here. So this area is just a no-go zone for me personally. If you want to trade around this area, you can, but I personally would just sit out of it because there's just no point. We also have news right here at 7:30. So just another thing to keep in mind. There's a lot of things here to keep an eye out for. We got news over here at 7:30. It's crude oil news. Typically, this doesn't have a big effect on anything, but if you guys remembered a month back, I took a trade at crude oil and it spiked. Like it went complete opposite. So no matter how low impact or how high impact it is, I'm not going to take any trades when it's happening during live session time. So you guys can see how the volatility here is starting to die down. We got the news event over here, natural gas stock change. Well, I say crude oil, it doesn't matter. It's just gas stock. Usually it happens on Wednesdays. Sometimes there's like one trailing event that happens on Thursday, but for the most part, we'll see if this causes some volatility and allows price to push out of this area because I don't want to trade within this middle area right here. I'm okay with it out here, and I'm okay with it down here, but not really around this point. Yeah, CJ said, grateful we made all of our entries before news today. Yeah, I know, right? There's a lot of entries that came up today, guys. So if you guys have more profits to post up, we got some more profits here from Delicia. So Delicia locked in 1,250 per account. She has 4 accounts here, so well over 4,000 for the day. Actually, 5,000. Added it all up. Nice work right there, Delicia. About 5,000 right there. All right, so other than that, we got the news price right here. I'm glad that news actually happened at this point because now we just have a whole cluster of red flags in this area. So you know exactly where to avoid trades right down here. So again, we'll continue to watch this here and we'll see if price actually pushes higher. Otherwise, see if price comes back down. Let's see where we're at. All right, so still not much movement here. If you guys have any questions, feel free to put your questions in the chat. This is probably a good time to ask whatever questions you guys have because there's just nothing going on here. Price is now just consolidating within this red flag area. I'll continue to look for some opportunities here when they come up, but I don't think you guys should trade within this middle area right here. What you want to wait for is price to push above, probably above this 100 mark right here. So it starts to climb up from this point, and okay, start to look for some entries around here for some buys. Or if price comes below, you'll have a little window here to trade. The only problem is that you have a couple red flags around this area. You have the Asia high and you have the Asia low right here. Sadie's asking, is tomorrow good for trading pre-market? Yes, so there's going to be volatility tomorrow. Tomorrow's PPI. It's not going to be as volatile as today or last Friday for NFP. Typically, it is NFP is the highest, CPI is the second highest, and PPI is the third highest. I mean, it's still pretty high, but you're probably going to get some whipsaws during that time. So you want to be a little careful, Sadie. I don't know if it's like the best time to take like, crazy risk. But yes, tomorrow pre-market could be a good time to trade. You're going to see a spike around 5:30, which is a PPI news. I will be trading that as well. I'm going to wrap up the rest of my my PA accounts around that time. So yeah, tomorrow morning, you have core PPI year over year, core PPI month over month, PPI in general, year over year, month over month. And then you have Michigan consumer sentiment at 7 o'clock. So we're going to try to get some entries in before 7 during the live session. But for the, for the most part, 5:30 is going to be a time where price spikes. So you might see a spike at 5:30 and then you'll see a correction. The news here is forecasted to be positive. So, we'll kind of see where that goes. Yeah, no problem. Again, guys, price hasn't broken out of this area. So again, you want to wait for it. Yeah, other than that, I think that's about it. Got Steven over here at the mic again. Got trading karaoke with Steven. He's got his remix of Toy Story Trading Edition. We gotta get Steven on the mic and on the screen here one of these days. All right, guys, so nothing's going on right here. Price still going back and forth. I'll continue to look for opportunities here, but like I said, there's nothing going on here. Because breaking news over here from CNBC. See what they just posted. All right, so this S&P falls from record as investors rotate out of 2024 tech winners. Yeah, that makes sense. A lot of people are cashing out on their long holds from last year, which is a given. It was bound to happen. Steven said, Sean, when is the K2 meetup? I don't know. The people that were planning it before, they're kind of busy now, I guess. So I don't know. We'll have to come to you, Steven. We'll come to you so we can see you in person and you can perform your concert with it for us. I know you got a list of songs now. You got R. Kelly, you got Toy Story, and you play the piano. And you're a man of a lot of skills, right? Trading, piano player, singer. What else? What can you not do, Steven? That's what I'm curious about. All right, guys, I'm just checking my messages here on Discord. Yeah, so we're good right now. But yeah, again, guys, I know we're messing around. We're kind of having like some side combos here, but if you guys have any questions, feel free to put your questions in the chat. There's just nothing here for us to take. As I said, this is an area of manipulation down the middle. So it's not exactly the area you want to trade in. If you guys do want to trade, wait for price to push out of this area. Ideally above here. So if price can get above the 150, then you want to look for some trades above here. If you can't wait for that, or if you want to take something earlier, wait for price to break out of this area and kind of climb out. But right now, there is not really too much to work with here. I mean, even if price came back down here a little lower, it's going to be stuck in between like a session sandwich, right? I forgot who mentioned that. Someone dubbed that the term a session sandwich, where price is in between these two sessions. Because even though price breaks below this point, the Asia high is right here and the Asia low is right here. So it's probably going to get stuck between here and probably pull back and consolidate. But you guys can see how price is consolidating within this middle area. There's just nothing here to take because price is just going back and forth between here. So that's kind of where another clean chart. It's not really any direction. So of course you want price to break out of this area here. I would add up my profits here, guys, but it's kind of pointless. I'm not going to add my profits until like next week. So I'll just leave my profits as is. You guys can see what I logged in for the day and for the week so far. Some of my accounts over here are kind of at break even because of the fees from this week. Which I mean is a given. It was okay. Took a lot of trades this week. Well, not a lot of trades, but we took 4 trades, 5 trades so far. So 5 trades yesterday put me at break even, of course, because we took 2 losses yesterday. We took 1 win on Monday, 1 win on Tuesday, 1 win today. So I pretty much brought myself back over, but I did have to pay a pretty decent amount in fees. So that's why some of these accounts here are still slightly in the red, a few dollars. I just need 1 more trade tomorrow to bring them back into the green for the week. But for the most part, accounts are looking good. So I have 15 PAs right now. Just locked in a bunch of the 300K. So tomorrow, hopefully I'll have the last 5 and I'll have a full 20 PA set to trade next week, which is not going to be too bad. So that's kind of my goal right there. 20 PAs. I'm taking 7 contracts on my 300K accounts and on my personal account. So let's see, 7 times 5 times 15. So about 525 per account. That's just 1 trade times 20. Yeah. So on average, I'll probably be locking in about like 10,000 if we just have like 1 trade per day. If we have 2 trades per day, closer to the 21,000 mark, which is pretty solid. And this is lowering the risk. So I took heavier risk for the evals, and then now I'm going to be taking lower risk, and it'll add up across the 20 accounts. So I'm looking forward to that. All right, guys, 7:45. Price has not done anything for the past, let's see, for like about the past 20 minutes now. So the past 20 minutes, there's nothing been going on. Price has just been going back and forth between the 100 and the 50 mark right here. So again, if you guys have any questions, feel free to pop into the chat. Otherwise, we're going to wrap this up pretty soon. There's just nothing happening here. Again, I don't really recommend you guys trade until price pushes out of this area. So the target price point that you guys want to look for, if you guys want to continue trading after the live session, is above the 150 mark. So wait for price to get past the 150 to start looking for some buys, and then vice versa, look for price to come below. I would say ideally, you probably want to be past this area over here. So probably the 950. So the 150 and the 950, this right here is just the consolidation range. You don't really want to mess around within this middle area right here. This is probably going to be the bigger range. Consolidation is actually happening right here. But if it does break out of this range, you can expect some fake outs. So until you guys start looking for some trades, personally, I'd recommend you go outside this area up here or below this area down here. Let's see, we got a question over here from Adam. So Adam said, while I'm learning and taking risks on the eval accounts, I want to take a fair amount of trades other than 5:30 to 6:30 a.m., 8 a.m. here. When and what markets would you trade? I know you mentioned in the video, but I was having trouble finding it. So typically I trade, so you can see over here, Adam, the volatility happens between like 6:30 and 7 our time, and then it starts to die down, right? Generally we trade between 6:30 and 8, but you guys can see how between 7 and 8 the market kind of dies down. The Hey, Vimal, the link that you're sending or the messages you're posting is only to me. Are you sending it to me or are you sending it to the group? I just want to make sure because yeah, because I wasn't sure if you were talking to me directly or to other people here. Yeah, no, you're fine, Vimal. You just have to, I know if you click on my name, it says direct message only, but if you click on everyone, everybody can see your messages. So if you're sending it to me, that's fine. I'll take a look at the video. I just wasn't sure if you were sharing it with the rest of the group or just me personally. Okay, so back to what I was saying, Adam. The market's typically volatile between 6:30 and 7. That's usually where we take our trades. And then we try to trade between 7 and 8, but you can see here that there's no movement. So if you want to continue trading outside of the live session, you probably want to wait until about 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock, between 9 and 12 is where the market picks back up because between 8 and 9 is usually lunchtime on the East Coast, right? So people are going to lunch. There's no volatility. There's nobody trading at that time. And then people come back from lunch around 8:39. It's, obviously that's like 3 hours ahead over there. And that's where the volatility starts to pick back up. So if you want to continue trading outside of the live session, I would probably recommend to wait until about 8:30 to like maybe start looking at the market and just see if there's some movement, right? Because you'll probably see prices going back and forth like it's going on right here. But if 8:30 hits and you start to see some directional movement, right, then you can probably start to trade around that time. But like 8:30 to 9 is usually like the warm-up time. And then between 9 and 11:30, 12 at the latest, but 9 to 11:30 is usually where you're going to see some movement. And if you ever want to go back and test that, Adam, you can always go back to like yesterday's market, right? So just go back to yesterday's market, turn this off. So you go back to yesterday, and then you can see over here, see how the market's like kind of going sideways until about like 8:30. And then 8:30 right here, price starts to climb up. So that's when you want to trade. And then around 11 o'clock, the market starts to die down again. So if you ever want to go back and look, just pull back to the previous day and then you can just see the patterns. And what you can do is if you really just want to see how it moves, just go back to that day and you can just mark up the times, right? So like I said earlier, 6:30 to 7, 7 to 8, 8:30 up until 11:30. So you can kind of see how the market moves. Like it's typically moving the same way around like all throughout the day. So you can see how the movements kind of happen. Like 6:30 to 7, a lot of movement, sideways between 7 and 8. 8 to 8:30, it kind of goes sideways and it starts to pick up here around 8, really around 9 o'clock is where the movement starts to happen. So between 9 o'clock up until 10, you have some directional movement, then it goes sideways. And that's kind of how you learn. Like once you figure that, once you understand like when the hot spots are in the market, that's when you know, okay, I have to trade during this certain time. And it all comes with time, right? Time and knowledge. Same with like us in law school, right? You don't learn anything right away. You have all the information in front of you, but until you actually start to apply it, that's when you start to really understand how things move. And I always like relate things back to law school for us, law school and practicing as an attorney. It's all learning experience. You never really get good at it. You kind of just get better at problem solving. So yeah, no problem, Adam. Let's see. So let me scroll up real quick. Oh yeah, here, I'll send a link over here real quick for you guys. There's a link that Lamal sent. The way that I look at my trailing drawdown is I just open up my account on Tradeovate, and then I have the accounts just listed there. But I think that video that Lamal sent will help you with that, William. Yeah, exactly. Adam said law school is great. I try to forget the being an attorney part. Yeah, no, same here. It's crazy, right? I haven't practiced law since COVID. So like I've been a full-time trader for about 5 years now. It's crazy. Went to school all those years, racked up all those student loans, stressed out about the bar, getting a job, all that stuff, and then now I don't even practice law. But it's all good. Yeah, Adam said this is the way. I don't know one person that like loves their work as an attorney. Everyone hates it. So much work. Let's see. Brian's asking, hey Sean, what strategies do you use? Do you trade pre-market, and what time do you start pre-market? Uh, there's no specific strategy and there's no specific time really. I mean, for the most part, I do what I'm doing here. So the same strategies that I'm doing here, the market flow, that's typically what I'm doing. I'm just like I'm full porting though, so that's why I don't typically like to trade with like on the live pre-market because I'm using like max contract size. That's how I was able to lock in 21,000, right? Because um I'm able to take those types of movements. So I'm basically applying the same strategy that we're doing here. It's just the volatility is way higher. So if you're say for example, you're trading right here, right? And I don't use like the structure. So for example, right here, you guys can see there was like a bunch of entries that could have been taken. So here on open, could have chased this up or not on open at the 5:30 mark when the news happened. You could have chased this up right here. I start to look at 5:30. I don't look anywhere before that. I look like after news happens. But you can see how all the opportunities here came up. There's one right here. There's a market flow entry here. Price came down super hard, swung back up. And then again right here. I think I took like 2 or 3 entries right here. And I pretty much locked in max profit on them. And I also have a bigger TP as well. I don't do 50. It's impossible to do 15-15. You'd have to just you go for a bigger target. I think I went for 50 points. Let me see. Or 25 points, I think it was. Went for about like 25 points. So I knocked out like about 4 entries here, like 25 points. Price came down, came back up 25 points. Price came down, came back up another 25 points. So I locked in about 4 entries here, I believe. And that's how I locked in this. Because so you could lock in about 4,000 per trade at about 25 points. And then you get slippage on top of that. So that's kind of how I mean it's the same thing. It's just on a faster pace. You have to be like super in right away. Let's see, CRX is asking what field of law? I used to practice civil defense. So I did civil defense for a big firm. So when I was practicing law, I basically handled a lot of Uber cases, like all the crazy Uber car accidents. So like if an Uber, like say for example, you were in an Uber car and the Uber got into a car accident and say you died and your parents wanted to sue Uber. I was defending Uber, basically telling you that you couldn't get any money. So I was like on the dark side a lot. I didn't like it. It was like super stressful. Um, I was basically an Uber attorney. So I defended Uber and I defended a lot of insurance companies. So that's what I was doing before, and that's why I didn't really like it. I think if I did a different field of law, I probably would have liked it more, but I didn't like doing what I was doing. So I was basically defending like these corporations that I didn't like to defend. It was nice. I mean, I got paid a lot. I got a lot of money from being an attorney, especially at a big firm. But it wasn't worth it, in my opinion. A lot of stress, uh, and just a toxic work environment. Yeah, exactly. Adam said ID is slave work. Yeah, horrible. I think CRX is asking, did a market flow entry and that push booked 10 points? Well, I don't know if I did that the right way. Which one did you take, CRX? I'm assuming you took one of these over here, right? The one that just happened. So your message happened at 750. Um, I could see one possibly up here. This could have been one, maybe. This one probably could have been one. This one would have been one right here, actually. So this green one here, see how price kind of wicked down? So the bias right now is bullish because price is above the pivots, the trend meter is green. The divergence isn't bullish yet, but so you don't have as many confluences here, but it still would have been an entry here for a buy because you would have seen price come down, and then when it swung back up, that's where the market flow entry would have came up. So, I mean, I'm pretty sure you probably did it right. If it hit your TP, because you're identifying the volatility, you're just catching that quick volatility spike. So like same thing with this over here, price push up, come down, swing up very quickly. So you got in at 40, 102. Yeah, no, you got in basically. So there's a lot of different ways of doing market flow. The way that I'm doing it is just the way that I'm doing it, but it's a very discretionary strategy. There's some people who take market flow entries where they just catch the bounce off the pivots. So like where you got in, it looks like you got in at the bounce of the pivot. So you got in a different way. It's the same strategy, but you got in a little earlier. Typically for me, I wait for it to come down and then swing back up. Some people just wait for price to come down to the pivots and they catch the bounce directly off the pivot. And that looks like where you got in from, because you got in like at the very low. This was also considered before we called this the high-low quick scalp. It was also on the low point right here. So as soon as you saw that low, as soon as the wick popped up, you could have entered the trade down there, and you would have taken that as a high-low quick scalp. So there's a lot of entries here that you could have taken. What it looks like you took was either the bounce off the pivot, which goes with market flow, or you took a high-low quick scalp. I don't think you were around when we were applying that strategy, but that was something that I think Natasha and a good amount of people here were still applying till this day. Basically, the way that the strategy works is see how price is pushing up. As soon as you see a low come up, once price comes down and comes right back up and you see the wick, that's where your entry would happen. So I think that's more so the entry that you were taking. I don't think you realized that it was a high-low quick scalp, but that we call that a high-low quick scalp at I think it was like last summer or 2 summers ago. That was one of the strategies that we used to apply a lot. The reason why we stopped applying it was because people would get greedy and they would blow accounts because they would just take every single entry, even though it wasn't a high-low scalp, quick scalp. And for the most part, I typically look out for the traders here. I don't want you guys to be taking strategies or entries that are too risky. So that's why I stopped doing it, but it works. Vimal's asking why law. I mean, it's the same reason why a lot of people do things that they don't want to do, right? Your parents. My mom knew I was going to be an attorney since the day I was born. The day I was born, my mom said I was going to be an attorney. So what did I do? Became an attorney. So that's why I went into law. And now I make more money. So my mom can't tell me like that this was a bad decision. But yeah, for the most part, that's the main reason I did law, was because my family expected me to be an attorney, and that's what happened. Became an attorney, didn't like it. And then I've been trading my whole life though. So like, well, not my whole life, but since I was 18. So the thing is, I always liked trading. I thought trading was fun. So I always did this on the side. And then when I was able to make more money trading than practicing as a lawyer, I was able to just leave my job and not go back. Daniel said, how was it when you told her you quit? So it was actually kind of easy because when I quit was during COVID. So during COVID, the courts were closed. So we were like on a temporary layoff. So we just were like on a temporary layoff where we were supposed to go back to work. And during that time, that's when I started to trade full time. So I was trading at work and before, and then I started to trade all day when COVID happened. And then I just never went back. I kept telling her I was going to go back to work at some point, and I just never went back. And then years passed by, and then my mom would see me have like new cars like every year, right? I just get a new car every year. And it was like a nice car. It wasn't like a cheap car. It was like an expensive car. And I would buy her gifts and pay for her bills and then put her on payroll and stuff like that. So yeah, she can't complain. Yeah, exactly. Daniel said you bought her an LV and it was good, huh? Yeah, no, actually during COVID, it was like the first thing that I bought her was like we went to we were in Vegas and we went to I think the Forum Shops, And I let her literally buy anything in the shop. So like she went to Gucci and all the name, like the high name brands for her, and then she just kind of bought everything. And she wasn't expecting me to pay for everything, and I just did. So that's when she knew trading was good and she knew the money was good in trading. Because I kind of just like popped out of nowhere with money because I didn't really have a lot of money back then. And then, I got really good at trading. And this was back when we were trading forex. This wasn't even US30. So yeah, it's crazy how your life can change. This is why I always tell you guys, don't give up. If you guys feel like giving up on trading, I would say to keep pushing because if I gave up on trading, I wouldn't be anywhere near where I am now. I would probably still be working my lawyer job, hating it, working like 10-hour days. Now I don't even work. I trade with you guys. I don't even feel like this is work. I hang out with you guys for like about 30 minutes in the morning. We make our profit right here. Then I kind of just help you guys out trading, and then that's pretty much my day. So it's about to be 8 o'clock right now. That's pretty much my work day. 6:30 to 8, hang out with you guys, make some profit, and then do whatever I want after this. So super, super chill. Yeah, CJ said that's so true, Sean. Trading is fun, and it is the only job I've had where I can't wait to get back to work. Yeah, like with trading, guys, it's crazy because I wake up in the morning without an alarm. So today I woke up at 5 o'clock because I was like, oh, I'm gonna make some money for CPI. I knew CPI was happening at 5:30 this morning. So I woke up exactly at 5 o'clock with no alarm. My mind in the morning was to make money. I already knew I was gonna make money this morning, so I woke up with no alarm, came straight to my computer, no problem. And then I made all these profits right here. So yeah, I think trading is like the only job where you'll actually get up in the morning and feel good and want to trade. You don't feel like that, you don't feel like the hate of like getting up in the morning and getting ready and then heading to work. Like I love getting up in the morning, getting to my computer, and then when I see trading view in the morning, it's like my fucking day is complete. I always have trading view open. I never turn off my computer. So as soon as I turn my computer on and I see the charts, I'm like ready to make money. My adrenaline's running, hands getting all sweaty, trying to set up my copier, and I'm just ready to go. So I'm gonna do the same thing tomorrow, and I'm gonna do the same thing every other day after that. It's a plus. Yeah, exactly. CRX said it feels different when you're trading together with us versus placing the trades alone. LOL might have to follow your calls until I pass the first eval, then buy and load up on some more. Yeah, no, exactly. I think trading with the group is a big difference, guys, because trading is a lonely game. I just talked with Shivam about this. I don't know if he's here, and he's probably here in the background. Shivam's the guy in the group who just passed, I think, like 15. He just passed a bunch of evals here. Yeah, so Shivam over here, he just got like 10 300K accounts. And he was telling me that like, it sucks when you trade by yourself because it gets lonely and you don't have any accountability. But when you trade here, like Shivam doesn't even follow my strategies. He follows my analysis, but not my strategies. He just likes to come on and listen to me talk because it keeps him in line with his trading and it keeps him on point. So, like he's one of the guys that doesn't apply the strategies, but he listens to my analysis and takes trades in those directions that I pretty much point out to you guys, which it's a plus for me, right? It helps me help you guys. So, all right, we got Andy over here. Andy locked in total profit of 447 for the day. Nice work, Andy. And then we got Vimal over here. He locked in total profit of 1,725. Great work, Vimal. Yeah, you traded one account today. Solid work, guys. Yeah, CJ said money does help to dissipate parental disappointment. So happy your mom sees that the lawyer or doctor route isn't the only way to success and makes more money. Yeah, eventually I do want to go back into law, but I don't want to actually work. So I want to go into law. I just want to open a firm. I don't know if Lucas is here. We're opening our Chan law firm soon at some point. Yeah, but I do want to open a law firm at some point, but I don't want to do any actual work. So I'm going to open a law firm, basically fund the firm. I'll handle cases that I like, and I'll still trade with you guys in the morning. So it's cool. I mean, yeah, money makes things easier. You can do things that you want. You can spend money on things that you want to spend money on. Money isn't everything though, but like it doesn't matter how much money I make. I don't think I'll ever stop trading because I enjoy waking up in the morning to trade. And trading with you guys here kind of gives me purpose because if I was trading by myself, I get pretty bored. But we got Steven over here. Steven still here? We got Steven over here singing in the background and keeping things interesting for us. So yeah, I don't think I'll ever stop trading. It'll uh it'll uh it'll always be a part of like what I do every day. Yeah, exactly. CJ said, wow, a hedge fund and a law firm is fire. Yeah, I mean, once you make enough money from trading, guys, you kind of could just throw money at different things, right? Like right now with Apex, like Apex is kind of a fun thing for me, but a lot of this profit that I'm going to be making through Apex, I'm going to be funneling it over to my personal accounts and the hedge fund, of course. Because like, yeah, I did the math over here, right? So if I'm taking like 2 trades a day on all of my 300K funded accounts, I'll be making about like 21,000 for 2 trades. For one trade, you'll make about 10, I'll make about 10,000. So that times four, it's about like 84,000 a month times 12. That's like a million in like just extra funds. And I'll be putting that over towards my personal account. And then from there to the hedge fund, of course. Let's see. Daniel said, what do you think the average yearly return on the hedge fund would be? I mean, it kind of depends. It's not going to be as a whole because the way that the hedge fund works is that it's going to be managed futures. So it's basically going to be managed accounts. So for me right now on my personal account, I'm risking about 10% because I'm currently below 100K mark. So right now per trade, I'm risking about 10%. So I don't think like the percentage is going to be a really good, I guess, marker for how much like the annual returns will be. Because like I'm trying to build up this personal account. I'm starting at like 10,000 and I'm building it up to I'm risking 10% per trade. So I'm making about like 500 to 1,000 per day. And then once I get to 100,000, I'm going to be lowering the risk to be maybe at 5% per trade. And then when it gets higher than that, like to a million, I'll lower it down to like 1% per trade, or like maybe even higher than that, 1 to 5%. So the average yearly return on the hedge, well, look right now. So let's take a look at our results for the year so far, right? So right now, currently, our win-loss ratio is 73.3%. If we were to do this percentage-wise, so we had 96 wins. Here, and we'll just do this. We'll just say, for example, right now, we're at 96 minus 35. If we're doing everything for a 1-to-1, we basically would be around a 61% return right now for July, like halfway throughout the year. So the return's pretty decent. I mean, it's pretty good. Again, I wouldn't necessarily base it off this because everybody's account's going to be slightly different. But you guys can see here that if you were to just base everything off one percentage, because we're doing a 1-to-1 risk reward, it'd be 96 wins, 35 losses. That'd be at 61%. So, I mean, it's good. It's not like over 100 because we're trading a big conservative, but now that we're doing these market flow entries, I think it's going to be a bit more. There'll be more trades. So, long-term goal, of course, that's kind of where I'm expecting. MJ. Yeah, no, exactly right. William was down. William was all for it, for sure. Steven's asking, what are the requirements for your hedge fund? What is the minimum account size we need to have? So if you guys want to trade with the fund, and this is going to be open to you guys initially. I'm not going to open this up to the public yet. I think we're going to start off with just you guys first and then friends and family. The cost of the hedge fund, I don't have an exact price. I wanted to have a flat rate, but I think starting off, we're going to have it at about at a monthly rate. So at a monthly rate, so this way you guys can just stop with the hedge fund if you guys don't want to. So if you guys want to pull out at any point in time, you guys can. It doesn't lock you into like a large flat rate. So the service fee will probably be about $1,000 per month. And this is why I'm putting these numbers out there, because your minimum capital for the account is going to be around 10%. So like, or no, sorry, 10,000. And like I said earlier, I'm risking about 10% per trade, right? So like, or 10% per day, 5% per trade. So if you're going to be risking 10%, you'll be looking to make about 1,000 or 500 to 1,000 per day, right? So say, for example, let's say we take 4 trades a week and we have like one loss, right? So you'll make about like 500 per trade times 4 minus 1. That's gonna be 3. So you make about like 1,500, and this is gonna be conservatively. So say you take 4 trades, I take 4 trades a week. You have 1 loss for that week. You're gonna make 1,500 for that week, right? Times 4, you'll make 6,000 for the month. This is how much you'll make profits on average, and then you're going to be paying the service fee, which is 1,000, and that's how much you'll basically be making. And then on top of that, you'll have you have to pay a performance fee, which will be 50%. I'm not going to dig too deep into that, but like 6,000 divided by 2, you'll make 3,000 out the door, and then, or 3,000 with performance split minus your monthly fee, which would be 2,000 net profit at the end of it each month, basically. And then from there, you can just reinvest it, right? So at that point, you're now at like 12,000. And again, say for example, now you're aiming for 1,200 per trade. Now at that point, you're making like say 2,400 per week times 4. You make 9,600 divided by 2. Your percentage is going to be 4,800 minus the monthly fee, and then you just keep compounding from there. So that's kind of like where it's going to be at. I'll give you guys the details once we get closer to the hedge fund opening, but for the most part. And this is just for you guys. Don't tell anybody about this. This is just for you guys. Yeah, it'll be a monthly fee initially. Later on, we're gonna change that to a flat rate once it's open to the public. But yeah, basically a monthly fee, monthly service fee, and then 50% profit split. Which I did the math, and you're gonna make profit either way. So you guys don't have to worry about that. I'm not trying to undercut you guys. I'm just trying to get my worth for the work, of course, and you guys are going to make profit regardless, because you guys see how I trade. You guys know how I trade. I'm going to be conservative with your account, make sure that every week and every month close out in the green, and that's pretty much going to be the goal. CRX is asking any timeline for Kodi Kai Capital. It's probably going to happen by the end of the year. I'm trying to take the test by next month. Hopefully I can focus long enough this month to take the test, and then take it by next month, and then be ready to launch hopefully early Q4, like in the fall. That's basically where I'm planning on it. Volatility took 1 contract right now, 15 stop loss, 20 TP. Yeah, exactly, Vimal. So you need the commissions are about 1 point. So that's how much you would make on that, Vimal. I think that's how much it is, right? It's I think $5 per contract. So if you're and it's both ways. So I think maybe 2 contracts. You need 2 points actually. So it's about $10 round trip per contract with regard to the commissions. All right, guys, I think that's it. We went past 8 o'clock. I answered a bunch of questions. I think those are all the questions for today. I'm not going to go too deep into the hedge fund questions right now, guys, because it's still not ready to go. Once it's ready to go, I'll let you guys know, but it's going to be beneficial for everybody. You guys can still trade with me, and you guys can have your hedge fund account on the side or your managed future account on the side, so that you can make profit while you're learning as well. So, all right, guys, I think that's it for today. Price is finally breaking above the 150 mark right here. So if you guys are looking for entries, there's actually a market flow entry that came up right here, if anybody spotted that. But the volatility here is still pretty low. So if you guys want to continue trading, I probably want to wait until past 8:30. Otherwise, wait until after 9. So, all right, guys, if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, I think we are all done for the day. Yeah, Joe said spectating today. Great information, definitely. So, all right, guys, I'll see you guys here tomorrow, same place, same time, as we